joining us. You're welcome to another episode right here on Save the Date by Wedos. And of course, we talk, delve in deep, direct, and a lot more into weddings, events, parties, and then you name it. And I'm so excited to be here today with myself, your MC Reginald Ajete. And I'm here with an amazing and pretty beautiful lady, Her beauty is beauty, you know what I mean? And we're just excited to be here. She's going to introduce herself real quick.
You. My name is Mary Bronose and I'm the creative director at Brown Couture. We are a fashion brand.
Fashion brand.
Yeah.
So you make from wedding gowns to... Tell us a bit more.
We do weddings, we do corporates, we do mass productions, we do casual.
Wow.
So anything that relates to sewing and fashion, we are into it.
Like they say, variety, we say, is the spice of life. And one way of doing things ends up boring. So, of course, they do everything variety. Now, we're going to go straight into the topic and the business for today. And we're looking at which is more memorable, the white wedding or the traditional wedding? The white wedding or the traditional wedding? Which is more memorable for you?
Okay.
So let's get to business. Let's get to work.
Okay. From my perspective, I think when it comes to traditional and white wedding, it's based on perspective of the participants,
Right.
a fraction of the budget, and what matters to those involved getting married. That's my view and opinions about that.
I totally love this point of view. You said a fraction of the budget,
Yeah,
the people involved.
and the perspective of the two couples involved in the marriage. So let's take for instance, a traditional marriage might be memorable to me, but it's not memorable to you, based on the budget I put in my white wedding or based on the budget I put in my traditional wedding. One might be more memorable to me, but not the other.
Amazing. Amazing. I thought you were going to say them all.
No, you can't.
All right, so to go direct and straight into business again, why don't we categorize it this way? Let's look at the traditional wedding first,
Okay.
and how memorable or not memorable that can be, and then we're going to come to the white wedding. So let's start with the traditional.
Okay. The traditional wedding, as we all know, that's our custom.
Absolutely.
So based on your background and then where you're coming from, the two of you, what we know is the bride and then the groom goes to their family members, they do the knocking, the blah blah stuff, and then they have this small get together, the traditional way and in the traditional setting. And then the monies that are involved with it depends.
Okay.
Because some couples would want to put much more interest in the traditional wedding rather than putting more in the white wedding. So as I say, it's more of perspective.
I like that. So talking about perspectives, I think that looking at, because I'm a Ghana actually,
Okay.
Here in Africa and maybe here in Ghana, if you're looking at the segment of people being the Ghans, they normally for the traditional wedding will bring in an ochiame or an MC.
Exactly.
Who will receive, if it's that of the bride, they will receive the groom's family, the item that has been brought, for the bride.
Yeah.
And then it will be chronologically, step by step, it's going to be arranged and they're going to receive it in some grand style.
Yeah.
There's the fusion of dance, there's the fusion of music, and I think that based on, like you said, perspectives, I like events normally this way. If I normally suggest for people who do events for the celebration that if you are, whatever you are, is what needs to be represented at your event.
Exactly.
So if you're a dance person, you need to create something around dance.
Exactly.
So that can be the focus area. And then everybody probably coming to your event knows you. They've known you from neighborhood to school to workplace and all of that, to church or your community where you're known. So when people come on that background, they connect with you a lot better.
Exactly.
If you've been known to be a dancer from infancy, when people come in, they don't seem to see any sense of that. There'll be that missing link.
Yeah.
So I think that in looking at how memorable any traditional event can be, that aspect of you has to be in that event.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. But you know, sometimes you can put all these things together, but then one stress can be a factor, and then you wouldn't be able to even enjoy the whole event. And sometimes people do have this post-marriage crash, like afterwards when they are watching their videos and they are like, this was supposed to go this way, this was supposed to go that way, and their expectations probably is high because you know this the creative arts and then the industry has made marriage to be a fantasy, something that people want it to be in a certain way. So if it doesn't go that specific way, it's assumed that it didn't meet the standard or something like that.
I've always told people at events, sometimes I tell them, because I'm a master of ceremonies as well, I tell them before the event that to be able to say that this event went very well, you don't need to score. If you score a 60%, it's good. It's
Exactly.
fine. It's okay. You don't need to get 100%.
Exactly.
Because sometimes right from the program to maybe photography to videography to food, something might
Go wrong.
Sometimes not even wrong. People might not meet timelines. Arrangements you have made might not turn out to be like that. Maybe a printout or something, a banner might have an addition compared to what you wanted. You wanted, this white background. They come with something pale or something ash.
Yeah.
And, and as much as you want specifics or you desire certain things at your event, you still have to make room to be receptive.
Yeah.
To be receptive, yeah.
People even elope to go out somewhere alone and then they have their good time and it's so memorable to them.
Yeah.
Like, people can go for this destination weddings that it just involves the two of them. They don't need anybody there. They just do it at probably in Vegas, just the two of them. They just sign and then they are okay. It didn't involve a lot of costs. It didn't involve a lot of people, but they are fine because what is memorable to them is what matters to them as a couple. And some other people too can be like the people present at their wedding. It forms a part of what was memorable to them.
Okay.
But I quite remember my cousin had this wedding, and then after his wedding, we were talking about it, and he was like, he didn't see what went on because he had headache. So
okay.
he didn't.
Throughout the event.
Yeah, so he didn't really experience. He didn't really experience his
the
own
fun
wedding.
that was going on.
You see, so on this topic, I think it's much more of perspective, as I said earlier on, and then the budget involved. Because sometimes to, let's say, if I should put much more focus on my traditional wedding, as you explained, and then less money into my white wedding. It's obvious that my traditional wedding will be much more like that kind of a standard speculated rather than the white wedding.
Right. I think like you just mentioned, it's also a subject of focus because sometimes you want to spend more on the traditional or on the white wedding. So you decide what you want and how to go about it, and you let the vision you have set. I normally explain vision to be the picture of a final destination.
Okay.
So if per this picture you want to bring A, you want to bring B, you want to bring quite a number of items, then that is what will be present on the set day.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have done quite a number of events over the years, maybe a little above 400 events.
Wow.
So sometimes I think that I've done events where there's been people ranging from 20 to thousands. And over the years, I have noticed that it's about 20% of the people that turn up at events that really want to be there.
Wow.
So for me, it's not really about the numbers, even though numbers are important. So if the numbers are your focus, then that's fine. But most of the times, you will realize that the people that show up at events, there's a segment of people who want to be there.
Exactly.
If it's raining, if the sun is up, whatever it is. I remember there's been times, there was this UK Ghanaian wedding I did, and we had to do the photography in the rain. I remember I was taking a selfie, and then a section of the white folks were like, yo, we want to be part of the photography, so we want to come on. And then the blacks who were, they got under a shade and they were like, this rain, what's going on? So they had to psych themselves up because they realized that the white folks who were, they were like quarter of the people, the total number of people for the event. And they decided, we want to make this as exciting as possible for our bride. And then they just got into the rain. And we started taking the pictures, and then the rest of the people, they got the vibe. They got the vibe, and then they just joined as well. So like we're saying, I think that for what memorable can be, it depends on perspective, it depends on
the
budget,
budgets, and then what matters to the participant. And again, too, I think though it matters to the participants, but there are still people involved, there are individuals involved. Because I've quite also experienced weddings. Since I'm part of the creative arts and I'm within the fashion brand, I have done a few weddings, not too much because I'm new. And the few weddings that I have done, there are sometimes that even the dress of the lady can change the whole situation, can make things can spoil the whole day, and might not make her want to remember the whole occasion or something like that. And aside that, there are people that come to the wedding that they pick one or two things out of what the experiences they've had over there. Because I know that I've been to 3 weddings in my life, not like all my life, but then there are some 3 weddings in my life that I went to that I picked one or two things. So those weddings, I can say, was memorable to me in the space of time, one, and there was another one that was memorable to me in the space of how the event took place. And then there was another one that was memorable to me concerning food. So I think, as I said earlier on, in relation to the perspective, whether it's individuals coming to the occasion or the participants involved with the wedding, it's how they see it. It's how they are going to accept how the occasion is going to be, embrace it, because at the end of the day, it's just an enjoyment of something that they want to enjoy for the rest of their life.
Right. Real quick before we sum it all up, I think that stakeholders of the event also matter. I think we've mentioned people already.
Yeah.
And the host,
yeah,
the celebrant, or whoever is getting maybe an MC or a vendor to come on board, and the vendors themselves. These segments of people, they make up the stakeholders for any event. And to be able to make any event memorable, I think that these segments of people count.
Exactly.
Getting professionals, getting the right people to work with, so that when something is going wrong, they will know how to fix it.
Yes, it's very important.
They will know how to go about it.
It's very, very important. Getting somebody, a planner, is very, very important when it has to do with that day for any individual couple. It's very important.
Right, so it's been a good one so far. Finally, just some few words from you before we go. Final words concerning how memorable an event can be, whether it's a traditional wedding or it's a white wedding. Let's have your final words, and then maybe a little advice too.
Okay. Though perspective is a part of it, as you said at the latter part, planning is very important. Whoever you get involved when you are planning this beautiful day, it's very important. You should get professionals as to make it beautiful so that you do not regret for the rest of your life. Because hey, it's just one day that you might not repeat again in your life. So that's it.
Well, it's been such an amazing time here, chit-chatting, discussing, and then it's all about weddings, it's all about events. Right here, it's been Save the Date with Wedos, and then look forward to another beautiful and an amazing episode. It's coming your way next time. I see you.